Brace yourselves, Blu Cantrell just dropped a revelation that could shake the entire music industry. For years, there have been whispers about her unusual connection with Jay Z. But now, Blu is opening up, and her story is far more shocking than anyone ever expected. In a bold and emotional confession, she reveals her alleged past with Jay Z, a story that involves secrecy, pressure, and powerful people behind the scenes. The biggest twist? Blu claims that Beyoncé herself stepped in during a private crisis, allegedly influencing a major decision that changed the course of Blu's life forever. Was it jealousy, image protection, or a calculated move to secure the rise of the Carter dynasty before it fully took shape? Whatever the reason, Blu's account is raw, unsettling, and forces us to re-examine everything we thought we knew about one of music's most powerful couples. This isn't just tabloid gossip, this is a look into the hidden power plays, emotional scars, and high-stakes decisions that shaped careers and relationships behind the scenes. Let's rewind the clock and break it all down. Back in the 1990s, Blu Cantrell and Jay Z shared a noticeable closeness. At that time, Blu was an emerging talent, working as a backup singer for major artists like Diddy. Industry execs quickly spotted her potential, and L.A. Reid signed her to Arista Records. By 2001, she dropped her debut album So Blue, which shot up to number 8 on the Billboard 200, earned top 10 singles, and even got her 2 Grammy nominations. Within 2 weeks, the album had gone gold. Blu was blazing hot, a rising star poised for greatness. Meanwhile, her connection with Jay Z was raising eyebrows. While Jay Z was also pursuing a growing connection with Beyoncé, he still seemed to be in regular contact with Blu. Some say he was keeping his options open after past disappointments, including his rumored bond with Aaliyah that never fully materialized. Things took an interesting turn in 2003. Blu released her second album right around the time Beyoncé launched her solo debut Dangerously in Love. With both artists dropping major projects, comparisons were inevitable, and some began speculating there was unspoken tension or rivalry. That talk only intensified because of their mutual ties to Jay Z, though Blu insisted there was no romantic relationship and that she and Jay Z were simply longtime collaborators and friends. The rumors didn't go away. In fact, they grew louder, especially after her interview with Wendy Williams. And if you know Wendy, you know she never shies away from asking the tough questions. When Wendy directly asked Blu if anything romantic had ever happened between her and Jay Z, Blu didn't give a straight answer. She laughed it off, dodged the question, and just like that, speculation exploded again. People weren't satisfied with her response, and the rumors spun even faster. What began as quiet industry talk has now evolved into a full-on storm. With Blu stepping forward after all these years, the story of Jay Z, Beyoncé, and Blu Cantrell is being seen in a new light, and it's not the clean, curated image the public has been shown. Buckle up, because we're only just beginning to unravel the layers of this complicated, controversial, and long-buried saga.
Have you ever kissed Jay Z romantically?
No. No, I can't answer that. I can't answer that.
Oh, she's touching him off the neck! Look! You see?
Why do people not want to let the Jay Z Blu Cantrell thing go?
Because, honey, that was a fabulous little high point in your career.
Well, what about Beyonce and Jay Z? That's fabulous.
Honestly, Blu had plenty of better ways to respond to the question, but laughing it off and dodging it only made things worse. Rather than putting the rumors to rest, she gave people even more reason to speculate. And it didn't stop there. Wendy Williams then threw out a bold idea, suggesting that maybe Jay Z chose Beyoncé because she was younger. Instead of sidestepping that controversial take, Blu leaned in and offered her own perspective. She said it wasn't about age at all. According to her, Jay Z was drawn to Beyoncé because she was more trusting and easier to influence, and in Blu's words, that was exactly the kind of person he preferred to be around.
You think it would last, though?
What, me and him?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you're above 25.
Why, he needs somebody younger than that?
At the end of the day, yeah.
Why do you say that?
Because I think at the end of the day, a younger, less savvy to the ways of the world broad.
Somebody a little bit more naive.
Back then, a lot of people felt Blu Cantrell was throwing unnecessary shade at Beyoncé, but looking back, her words might have been less about Beyoncé and more of a reflection on herself. She now seems like someone who was young, overwhelmed, and perhaps caught up in a situation she didn't fully understand until much later. Blu has admitted to being naive during that time, And those close to the industry believe she may have been taken advantage of without realizing it until things spiraled out of control. Even if she wasn't actively trying to spark drama, the tension between her and Beyoncé was very real. Over the years, their relationship only became more strained. Blu didn't hold back. She openly accused Beyoncé of copying her creative ideas, even going so far as to claim that Beyoncé borrowed visuals and concepts from her work. For example, when Beyoncé and Jay Z dropped their '03 Bonnie and Clyde music video, Blu quickly alleged that it closely resembled her video for Round Up. And when Beyoncé released Baby Boy featuring Sean Paul, Blu again spoke out, saying the vibe and collaboration were too similar to her own track Breathe, which had also featured Sean Paul and was released earlier. These weren't just small artistic comparisons. To fans, it looked like the rivalry was growing more personal. Then came another layer of speculation: astrology. Beyoncé's song signs includes the lyrics, "I wish you were a Virgo, the same sign as me. 'Cause I've been hurt by a Pisces." Jay Z is a Sagittarius. Beyoncé is a Virgo. And Blu Cantrell? A Pisces. This small lyric ignited fan theories suggesting Beyoncé was subtly calling out Blu and alluding to a betrayal. The internet, as always, ran with it. Fans connected the dots, and the narrative that Jay Z had possibly been unfaithful with Blu started gaining traction again. Then, in an interview with The Guardian, Blu was asked directly about Beyoncé, and her response only intensified the drama. She said, "I'm an adult. She's younger. If she's doing what you're saying, then she's being a little immature. Maybe she's trying to get attention, but I want her to understand if she goes there with me, it's the wrong move. She needs to be aware of what she's doing and what she's getting herself into." Blu also mentioned Jay Z, saying if she has issues, she should talk to her man. Don't take it out on another woman, that's never the way to handle things. That interview felt like the breaking point. Despite Blu's talent and the success of her first 2 albums, she vanished from the music scene not long after. No more albums, no new singles, just silence. It was a surprising and suspicious shift, leading many to believe that something bigger was happening behind the scenes. In 2013, Blu briefly resurfaced, announcing she had left her label and was working independently on a 3rd album. But that project never materialized. Then in 2014, things took a darker turn. News broke that Blu had been hospitalized after what was described as a mental health crisis. She was found in Santa Monica at 2 a.m., distressed and claiming someone had tried to harm her using toxic gas. She was taken to a hospital for evaluation. While some industry insiders brushed the incident off as a breakdown, and others quietly hinted at substance abuse, many fans refused to accept those explanations at face value. They couldn't help but compare Blu's story to what happened to actor Martin Lawrence years earlier, another public figure who experienced a similar mental health scare under Mysterious.
Blu. The first Blu. Not they daughter Blu. Blu Cantrell. You were singing, boo. And you made a choice to work with someone, and you probably didn't realize how nefarious he was when you got involved with him. I didn't. Blu, it's time to talk. It's time for you to sing again. Because I know you still got the chops. You got the gift. Just like me. Jay Z worked very hard to erase you and me. Just like he did Elle. Just like he did his relationship with R. Kelly. Just like he did his relationship with Aaliyah. Blu, it's time.
By the time all of the ink was dry, she was just shy of being legal. But that didn't stop the mogul. He liked to sample the new talent. He was sampling her on a fairly regular basis, but he was also involved with the current A+ list singer who was in his face every day. And this could allegedly be Beyoncé. The thing is, though, that corn star in charge of her career was feuding with the mogul and told the mogul he would not be allowed to hook up with the singer again. I assume he thought the mogul would think she was something special. Apparently not as special as the current A+ lister, because the new signee was dropped and the word was put out on the street. No record deals for her from any label. When someone ignored the edict, they were paid a visit. If the visits were ignored, then other steps were taken. This was a total lockdown of a career that lasted almost